Good morning, folks, and happy Wednesday. I hope and pray you're doing well. It's kind of a dreary morning, and certainly we're going to get remnants of Hurricane Debbie as she makes her way through the eastern part of the United States, but the southeastern part. But that's just one of those things. You know, we're going to get some rain, we're going to get some wind. Those things happen, but it's still all good. Remember a couple weeks ago when we were dry as the dickens and we were wondering, are we ever going to get any rain? And then God finally sent some rain. So just goes to show God's going to take care of you no matter what. So I hope and pray that today is well for you. Oak Level, remember tonight is Wednesday, prayer and Bible study at 6 p.m. And we are done, or getting done, with the book Dangerous Prayers. And tonight's just going to kind of be a wrap up as we go over everything that we've learned as we've gone through the book. So you come on and be a part of that. You don't want to miss that blessing right there. I want to share with you today from the book of Matthew, chapter number 19, specifically verse number 26. But what I'm going to do is give you the context of what we're going to read here in just a second. See, Jesus is given a parable prior to that, and then he talks about how it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of the needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. Basically, what Jesus is saying right there, riches get you nowhere. You've heard me say this before. I've never in my life seen a hearse and then a Wells Fargo truck behind it. Your riches, your possessions, whatever you have on this earth will not get you anywhere. And that's what Jesus tells us in this parable that we see prior to this verse right here. So he says it's easier. You think about that. Easier for a camel. I don't know if you've ever seen a camel. I've seen some when I've been in the Middle East. Easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into the kingdom of God. And the disciples are flabbergasted by hearing this, and they ask him in verse number 25, who then can be saved? Why? Because in their human brain they know good and well that a camel is not going to fit through the eye of a needle. I love how Jesus uses symbols and symbolism and examples in his teachings. But then we come to verse number 26 of chapter 19. But Jesus looked at them and said to them, with men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. Think about that right there. With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. A minute ago I talked about how weeks ago we were hot, dry. We didn't know if we'd ever see any rain, or we probably knew in our heart that we would, but in our brain we always question things. And, you know, we wonder, how are we going to get through this? Well, don't worry about it, because God's got it. With God, all things are possible. And I don't know what you might be going through today. I hope and pray that you're not going through anything difficult, but I'm sure somebody watching this may be. But remember this. You've heard me talk about where we need to place our trust. Place our trust in God's sufficient grace. Because with God, all things are possible. So remember that today as you go about your day. And I hope and pray that you're having a wonderful day thus far. But if you're going through your day and something all of a sudden gets you in a snag, remember, with God, all things are possible. So place your faith in God's all-sufficient grace. We can't do it on our own, but we serve a God who can do it. With God, all things are possible. So I hope and pray you have some encouragement from this devotional today, and I hope and pray that you have a wonderful day in the Lord. Remember, prayer and Bible study tonight at 6 p.m. You may watch this, but you may not come to Oak Level regularly. Come on and be with us anyway. You might find that it's worth it, and there might be something that God's talking to you about, and maybe you come and be with us and you can get some discernment on what God is trying to tell you. So come and be with us. You're more than welcome. 6 p.m. prayer and Bible study. Love you, folks, and I'll talk to you a little bit later. God bless you.